Call the meeting to order. Shelley, can you do roll call for us, please?
Yes, sir. Madam Chair. Okay, so we have Chairman Tracy Quick.
Here.
We have Vice Chair Mary Lowry. Here. We have Commissioner Art Warren.
Here.
And online we have Commissioner Justin Acevedo.
Present.
Okay, we do have a quorum of the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Very good. All right, our business today is a consideration of a request of design and site plan approval by Driftmeyer Architects for a new 2,295 square foot bank located at 996 North Broad Street, APN 207-15-105B, case number SP-24-01. Dana?
Thank you so much, Chairwoman, Commissioner. While I share my video here, I'm just yes, so this is the proposed redevelopment of the property there at the northeast corner of, northwest corner of Blake and Broad Street. And I'll apologize in advance, I've been between mostly teams these days, and for some reason I'm not seeing my share option. Oh, there it is, sorry. There you go. And so redevelopment of the existing site. I'll go ahead and just orient you to that site, and that would be the, this is the county assessor map. This is the subject parcel owned by Mr. Stratton. This parcel is also owned by Mr. Stratton. Just to give you a heads up, this GIS, if anybody haven't noticed it, shows this lot line in this configuration. That was amended, 6-8 months ago or so, to kind of actually straighten out and then provide a greater setback to the existing, or remove the lot line a little bit to the west. Anyway, so for that reason, the project site plan has a different configuration, and that's the reason why. This is the proposed site to be redeveloped, or at least the commercial developed portion of it. I think we're all familiar with it. It's been there some time, and I think it's probably at least 60 years old. And the proposal is to completely raise the site, the existing buildings, make grading improvements to elevate the building pad to a height that is acceptable to the flood control district, which has been approved, and develop a bank with 2 drive-through locations at the site. The property is zone C3, which things are allowed in the site plan. This is the renderings provided by the applicant of that bank. Look, this is a view looking from Lake Street. You can see that elevation that's occurred there, hence a ADA ramp as well as stairs to get up there. And then on the left there is the drive-through exit next to the property to the west. And I'll go ahead and take you to the site plan. And that's the site plan. Again, meeting all minimum building setbacks, including an additional space to allow for the setup of a ladder truck. If we ever need a fire ladder truck, that would be the explanation for this kind of hardened surface in the landscaped area that could also have landscaping, but it would be sacrificial landscape shrubs or something in case a ladder truck needed to get in there and then set its outriggers up to service the single-story building. With that, you'll notice in the staff report, I do mention that we do have a 10-foot setback from parking to property line, with exceptions is found to be justified by the zoning administrator, myself. And in these conditions, we could meet that justification. The same property owner is on the east and west currently, and has obviously supported this redevelopment of that site and the sale of the property. And then to the north, there's a large 25-foot drainage easement and hillside slope sloping up to a single-family residence. That's probably, show you here, this location here. So this is that property line we were just looking at. So it stands. This is a drainage area. All the drainage from several of these properties flows through here and then out, exits someplace near the highway here on the east side. So again, 1 2-way entry located right here on the north side of Broad Street. they'll be revising the existing curb cuts and narrowing those up, which are pretty broad currently. As you know, the existing property does not provide the landscape setback that our current code requires. This proposal does, both on Lake and on, along the broad frontage. It's about a 2,300 square foot bank facility, like I mentioned, with 2 drive-through locations here that exit strictly out to Blake Street, and then the only other exit is a one-way drive aisle here for the parking spaces along the frontage of the building, and then exit only. ADOT had reviewed this originally when we were working with this applicant for probably 6 or 8 months. And ADOT has reviewed and will be ultimately required to, the applicant will be required to submit for permit for those curb cuts when they're ready to construct. They have a proposed pylon sign at this location. There is an existing sign out on site. I don't know if the applicant has determined whether the existing sign will remain or if they'll propose a new pylon sign or sign. But that's not part of this application. And it would be administrative, given it doesn't need any special approvals when the site permit does come through. There's paving plan, landscape plan. You can see trees along the frontage is in a larger landscape area in the northeast there, adjacent to the residence. Northwest, apologize. And then floor plan for the bank, drive through, you see on the top here. Building elevations, and again, that signage would come through on a separate permit as well, the wall signs as well. This is that west elevation on the bottom of the screen, showing that tower and that structure can't be covered. And then there would be the south elevation and north elevation with the access door. So the parking area and the trash enclosure, which happens to be located just beyond that exit. And again, the final images. So with that, staff recommends approval of this request with, we have 7 conditions of approval that I'll quickly touch on. First, provide and maintain ground cover over all unpaved surfaces. That's typical. And riprap and drainage areas to stabilize the finished grade. Given that use additional slopes we have now, we want to make sure that it's going to be that it's not going to end up in our rights of way and the other issues, which the landscape plan shows. All exterior lighting shall be full cutoff and fully shielded, so we still need to see those light fixture details. But as long as they're full cutoff, we are fine. We'll probably have a parking lot, a few lights in the parking area and the entrance there. Meet our lighting code. Maximum 3-foot fence site within the 20-foot front setback, which we just want to reiterate. You know, there are screen walls shown on the site plan. As our permit or zoning code requires, and here's a screen wall located adjacent to these parking spaces, and then screen walls here on either side of a future sign location. And then a small screen wall at this location here. So again, I just want to reiterate for the record, in the condition of approval, that the reduction of that 10-foot setback is per the plan for the parking areas. Item number 5, line of sign location be a minimum of 5 feet behind the front street side property line to maintain a clear sight distance for exiting vehicles. So we want to make sure that's going to not obstruct site visibility, which it doesn't appear based on where it's located, but we'll ensure that through the building permit process, review process. And then finally, revise the southwest angle parking space to not approach into 20. They can just move back the curb and not have a parking space block. You see it darkened here, and they could overhang that by 2 feet. So we don't see an issue there. And then the architect may have a better solution, but that's the only, those are the only, and then finally apply for ADOT access approvals. Those are the recommended conditions of approval. Staff is very excited for this development. I'm happy to see the redevelopment of this site in this corner And we are recommending approval. Be happy to respond to any questions you have.
Go ahead.
Dan, I have a question about waiting for ADOT to access approval. So, you know, is there any chance that ADOT would say, you know, no, you can't have a bank at this place because it's going to impact traffic on the highway? I mean, what? I guess I'm trying to
So
understand what that process
they-
would look like.
Thank you very much, Chairwoman and Vice Chair. So it's a right-of-way permit or encroachment permit. Currently, we have these two large curb cuts. This proposed bank and then obviously all its commercial spaces. The existing demand, would most likely, if this development was fully utilized, would probably have a higher traffic demand. So one thing they're gonna ask for is, show us your traffic impact. They're required to provide access to the parcel, but they have a review process. Given that they're going exit only here, two-way exit up here, entry, ingress, egress, and then exit to Lake Street. That's a new exit to the property that wouldn't otherwise exit to the right-of-way. So I think there's a net reduction in the amount of potential access to the right-of-way. So all that taken into account, my familiarity with working with ADOT and other projects, this would be a much safer design, and I'm sure that will support it. Now, if it were a coffee shop and there were stacking issues or something like that, ADOT we'd take a more deeper dive. They're very particular about coffee shops, but in this situation, the stacking distance could go all the way is exceptional. 2 lanes nonetheless. So I definitely don't think that ADOT would have an issue with it. And as I mentioned, they have reviewed this. They did not provide comment or express that they didn't have any significant comments, but provide for the application, and that's the process. So if there was an issue and a change to the site plan, I'd have to come back to you.
Okay.
Is there any consideration of traffic light at Blake Street?
So being a highway, that could come up in their review and processing with ADOT, and then that, could be an ADOT requirement. They didn't mention that, and that's a significant issue
Yeah.
that I believe they would have already flagged and provided some insight to in the prior reviews.
It's
And
definitely
there's
something
also
for
a
the future.
crosswalk over here, we know, but again, it's ADOT right away, we don't have control over that, no review of the plans.
Art, do you have any questions, concerns?
No, I don't have any concerns at this point. Traffic is probably the biggest concern I have. It's just going to be
Right.
on or in or out. You face a lot of the traffic there. I've noticed goes in bursts. You get a long line and then you get some.
Yeah.
So patience is the virtue there, but at some point I think
Well, and progress requires traffic and bad parking.
yes.
This one, I mean, Dana's right though. There's a lot of room.
Oh, yeah,
for
yeah,
back up here. If
Yeah,
you
it's
think
not like
about,
you're gonna have to.
a length of an average car here, and you got 2 lanes, so I'm not worried about that. I mean, if ADOT approved that coffee shop right off the street, I don't see why this would have any problems.
I agree
whatsoever.
totally.
So, I wondered what that process looked like.
Right.
So, nope, I don't have any other.
Justin? Comments?
Not many other questions here. Project looks great. I think the only big curiosity I have is the old bank moving to this new location? Are we gonna have 2 locations? But has nothing to do with approved plan, just curiosity.
I assume they're moving, right? So we're not gonna have 2 wall feds.
Yep. Correct.
I wonder what'll happen to the
Yeah,
other
it'll be
one.
a relocation.
That's exciting. Then there's another building available.
That'll be another meeting.
Very good. If no one has any other questions or concerns, why don't we get a motion?
Motion to approve case number SP-24-01, design and site plan approval for a new 2,295 square foot banking facility on half-acre land with conditions as outlined in the proposal with those 7 conditions.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Very good.
Aye.
We got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Hi.
Aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Nay? Motion approved. That was a quickie. Do we have any future agenda items or scheduling of meetings that we need to discuss?
Chairwoman, not at this time, nothing, it's just been low for proposals. We have, staff is discussing the opportunity, take advantage of the opportunity to, possibly look at some text amendments, much needed text amendments that we've discussed in the past, of fence and, front yard fence heights and things like that, so, hopefully we'll bring something like that, ahead and, start cleaning up the code a little bit.
That'd be good.
Very good.
That's all I have.
That's it. Okay. Shelley, you have anything to add?
No?
Linda? No.
No, thank you very much.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I so motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right. We have a motion and a second to adjourn. So there you go. All those in favor say aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Meeting's adjourned
Yay.
in 13 minutes.
Wow.
I say you-